Hey everyone, welcome back to The Explainer. Today we're diving into something that is notoriously intricate, but honestly incredibly rewarding. We are navigating the complex maze of the U.S. immigration system to completely demystify the EB-2 green card. Now, if you've ever looked at U.S. immigration and felt like it was just this impossible, unsolvable puzzle, you are absolutely in the right place. I want you to think about this for a second. What if the years you spend studying, researching, or really perfecting your craft weren't just for your career? What if they were actually your direct ticket to living permanently in the United States? Well, for a ton of highly educated or exceptionally talented professionals all over the globe, the EB-2 visa is exactly that. It's a highly viable, strategic solution for folks with the right qualifications. But, it absolutely requires strategy, precision, and a really clear understanding of the rules.
Okay, so let's dive into this. Here's the roadmap we're going to use today to cut through all the bureaucracy. First up, meet the EB-2 visa. Then, who exactly qualifies? After that, we'll look at the NIW exception, walk through your step-by-step roadmap, break down the benefits and processing times, and finally, wrap up with how to avoid denials. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. Meet the EB-2 visa, demystifying the basics.
So, the EB-2 green card is an employment-based immigrant visa, and it's specifically designed for professionals with advanced degrees or exceptional ability. But the absolute most crucial part of this definition is that it grants lawful permanent residence, right? We aren't just talking about some temporary work visa where you have to pack up and leave after a couple of years. The ultimate goal of this pathway is allowing qualified applicants to become full, permanent residents of the United States.
Section 2. Who exactly qualifies? Advanced degree versus exceptional ability.
You essentially have two distinct tracks here to qualify. The first is the advanced degree track, which usually means a master's degree or higher. But notice that important or condition. A bachelor's degree plus 5 years of progressive experience counts too. So think of a software engineer who only has a bachelor's degree but has been leading major tech projects for a decade. That actually equates to an advanced degree. Then, the second track is exceptional ability in sciences, arts, or business. And for this one, you really have to prove you stand significantly above the norm in your field.
But of course, here is the catch. While you might be looking at those tracks and thinking, great, I've got a master's degree, I'm good to go, there's a major bottleneck for the standard EB-2 path. Generally speaking, most standard EB-2 applicants require a qualifying U.S. job offer to proceed, meaning you can't just apply on your own. You need an employer who is willing to sponsor you, and let's be real, that can be a massive hurdle.
Which brings us to Section 3, the NIW exception, the immigration cheat code.
I literally like to think of this as the ultimate immigration cheat code. Officially, it's called the National Interest Waiver, or NIW. Now compare the two sides of this. The standard EB-2 requires employer sponsorship, it needs a specific job offer, and requires that grueling PERM Labor Certification, where an employer basically has to prove they couldn't find a qualified U.S. worker. But the NIW? If your work is in the national interest, you are allowed to self-petition. No employer sponsorship needed, no PERM Labor Certification required. You are completely in the driver's seat of your own immigration journey, which is exactly why the NIW is so incredibly valuable.
Section 4. Your step-by-step roadmap, navigating the bureaucracy.
Let's see how this builds, and how we can actually condense this huge bureaucratic process into 6 macro phases. Step 1 is checking your eligibility and doing the PERM if it's required for your path. Step 2 is a big one, filing Form I-140, which is the actual immigrant petition. Step 3, you wait for a visa number. Step 4 is applying for the green card itself, either using Form I-45 if you're already inside the U.S. or going through consular processing if you're abroad. Step 5 is your medical exam and interview, which leads us to the best part. Step 6, actually receiving your green card. Breaking it down like this just makes the whole thing a lot easier to digest.
Now, to get through all those steps, you are going to need a veritable mountain of paperwork. Seriously, prepare to sacrifice a small forest. You'll need things like valid passports and birth certificates, a highly detailed CV, educational certs and transcripts, and rock-solid employment and experience letters. On top of that, you need glowing recommendation letters, proof of any awards or publications, your professional memberships, and employer documents including the PERM if you need it. It is a really heavy organizational lift for sure, but assembling this strong supporting evidence is the absolute bedrock of a winning petition.
Section 5. Benefits and processing times, reaping the rewards.
First up, let's do a quick reality check on processing times. There is literally no single magical number of days I can give you here. The timeline heavily depends on several moving parts. PERM processing if applicable, current USCIS workloads, overall visa availability, and critically, your country of chargeability. In simple terms, that usually means your country of birth. And this is a huge factor. Because of per-country caps, applicants born in high-demand countries like India or China might experience significantly longer wait times. So patience is definitely part of the process here.
But looking at the massive payoff here illustrates exactly why that wait is worth it. Once you're approved, you gain the right to live permanently and work legally anywhere in the U.S. You get to bring your spouse and your unmarried children under 21 with you. You have the freedom to travel internationally while easily maintaining your status. And honestly, perhaps most importantly, it puts you on the direct path to apply for full U.S. citizenship when you become eligible. It's just a totally life-changing set of benefits.
Section 6. How to avoid denials, traps to watch out for. You really need to view these not just as a list, but as specific bureaucratic traps that you have to actively avoid on your journey. People get denied all the time for totally preventable reasons, like simply missing documents or filling out incorrect forms. Sometimes it's a failure to properly demonstrate they meet those strict educational or experience requirements, or they just submit insufficient evidence of their exceptional ability. Another massive trap? Failing to respond to USCIS requests for additional evidence on time. You absolutely have to stay incredibly organized and highly responsive throughout this entire thing.
So the crucial point to take away from all of this is that success isn't random. Choosing the absolute correct EB2 category for your specific background and meticulously submitting strong supporting evidence will significantly improve your chances. It really all comes down to picking the right lane and then proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that you belong in it.
So, what does this all mean for you? Have you started gathering the evidence to prove your exceptional ability? The journey to an EB2 green card might be long, but it begins with that very first resume update or that first letter of recommendation. If your degree really is your ticket to the US, the time to start packing your bags is right now. Thanks so much for joining us for this explainer, and we will see you next time.